What is going on, guys? The boy the NC10 on the very side, 10 Tiger01, the Bengal Dragon. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, follow me on Twitter at 10 Tiger01. And also, if you want to keep updated with all my uploads, make sure to hit that bell notification button as well. Right, I'm here to give you your GFW Impact review from October 19, 2017. Okay. So Dan Lambert was shown to be arriving with the Impact Zone with Lashley, with Lashley and the American Top Team. So it starts with a match. Johnny, Chris Adonis versus Corny Impact. So my highlights were Johnny's double leg takedown, basement clothesline, Adonis back body drop. Johnny hits a fucking bear hug. You know what? I'm with Bruce on this one. That move has no place in today's wrestling right now. Sorry, like especially with given how prevalent MMA is and how much people watch MMA. The bear hug has lost all its believability. Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna hug the shit out of you like a bear, like this, and you got your arms wide open, but you still can't poke me in the eye or like elbow me or some shit. Yeah, fuck that. So Johnny's overhead kick to counter that bear hug. Adonis spinebuster. Johnny's a corkscrew ish spinning neck breaker. His corkscrew springboard and ziguri. That was pretty good. So we come back from the break. So here's the Thursday Night Delight after the break. The countdown 450 elbow drop, which he did not rotate enough because he landed on his feet. And then like just dropped down with the elbow after landing on his feet. So that's for the 3 count. Whatever. Decent enough, I guess. Eli Drake tries to jump him, but Johnny saw him coming and Johnny Impact rips his pants off? Johnny Impact rips Eli Drake's pants off. Okay. When your babyface rips a heel's pants off, sorry. Johnny Impact, you gotta go. No, don't have the title put on Johnny Impact. This guy rips off other people's pants. So Johnny attacks Drake with the belt. But Adonis attacks Johnny from behind. Eli Drake in his fucking boxers attacking Johnny Impact with the belt. Man, that was a disturbing scene to see. Garza Jr. comes out and with a chair to the rescue, and Eli Drake and Adonis back down. Apart from the boxers thing, Eli Drake being in his fucking underwear thing, man, Eli Drake agreed to be in his underwear for this scenario. Okay, keep the belt on him for Bound for Glory. He agreed to embarrass himself like this in front of everybody. Okay, he agreed to look as a part of a heel. He agreed to let a pissed off babyface, rip his pants off. Okay, just for this company. This company should do the right thing and keep the belt on him at Bound for Glory. So we get an El Patron segment again, hyping the return for BFG, and I honestly think El Patron is gonna factor into the main event somehow. If it's not gonna be a cage match, if things not gonna be barred from ringside, El Patron. Or even if it is a cage match, and even if Chris Adonis is barred from ringside, El Patron is going to factor into this match somehow. So does this mean Pritch? Because we know Jim Cornette is gone. So here's leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Does this mean Bruce Pritchard returns at GFW Impact? After Bound for Glory. Or at Bound for Glory. So we go to another break, come back. So Pluto TV Rewind of the Week show where we have Samoa Joe versus Sting match or something like that. You know what? I think this is a pretty good concept. If it's going to be a weekly thing, then good. So there's a five-way match at Cancun, Mexico that was shown. Now I know some people that had a problem with the the total disregard for the story of this match being televised. Now listen, I pay attention to the announcers. They actually mentioned that this is actually a charity fundraising match for the victims of the earthquake that that just hit like Mexico City, I think. So in that regard, you can sort of see that okay, they're just having that exhibition type of match, but they still don't like each other. Now here's what I liked about the psychology. The James Storm and EC3 still fought amongst each other. Eddie Edwards was trying to be the calmer head, and continuing on their feud, Tahano and Phantasma also sort of did not fully trust each other, because when you look at the ending, Tahano handed James Storm a chair to hit a Phantasma's father, and Phantasma took advantage of that and soccer kick, running soccer kick the running football kick the chair into James Storm, and Tahano took the advantage and got the pin. The match itself was actually pretty good. I think Tahano hit like a nasty pile driver. Was it Tahano or Phantasma? A nasty pile driver. But yeah, the match itself was good. So I don't have too much problem with this, because at least afterwards, they also try to tie things up, saying that Eddie Edwards once said that, listen, we need to stick together. We can't fight amongst each other. We need to stick together. He got to go back to Japan, but EC3 and James Storm, they need to hold it down. Okay. Oh, by the way, yeah, if I didn't mention this, the competitors in the match: Storm versus James Storm versus EC3 versus Eddie Edwards versus Phantasma versus El Tejano. Next, we get an OVE segment in Tijuana. They indicate they're gonna confront Conan in the hideout. Now, someone informs them that the Gringos want to talk to Conan. Conan says they need to put the titles on the line at the Crash promotion tonight, and maybe Conan will talk to the Gringos. So after come back from the break, we go back to Cancun, and we get that backstage segment I just talked about, with Eddie Edwards, EC3, and James Storm arguing, and Eddie Edwards trying to calm shit down and tell them to get their act together. So backstage at GFW next, Dan Lambert was shown arguing with Cornette, and boy oh boy, they had a, what, I'll get to it when I get to it. It's in the show. So next we get Andrew Everett with Trevor Lee and Caleb Conley versus Desmond Xavier. So my highlights were Davier's back roll head scissors, Everett's basement drop kick, his snap suplex and leg drop. Okay, at this okay, I'll get to that later. Okay, Xavier gets his knees up at the standing moonsault attempt by Everett. Xavier's striking he hits this pretty well, man. The striking combo to a cutter, he hits this really well. Desmond Xavier does. Xavier's Enziguri. Xavier hits a nice tope con hilo. He had a good form on that one. Everett hits a Pele kick, but Xavier ends up hitting the double backflip Pele for a 3 count. Now here's what I had a problem where I had a problem with this match. This should not be a finisher. This should be a setup move to his finisher. Just like the blunt force trauma should not be Eli Drake's finisher. He got a better finisher than a jumping knee and a clothesline. But yeah, just a double backflip, a, du- a double backflip thing, and Ziguri, a double backflip Pele. It should be a setup to, let's say, he used to hit the spiral tap or something, like, the final flash, or what do you call that? Yeah, that it should be a setup to that move. I can see I can see how listen, I can see how some people might enjoy, like, let's say, enjoy the surprise element that not the matches don't necessarily end with finishers, and this protects the integrity of the finisher. Here's my problem with it. Your finisher is supposed to be your most devastating move in your arsenal. And sometimes it's hit with, like, like a combination of, like it's set up. You have set up moves to your finisher. If if you don't end your opponents, at least if it's outside of a context of a squash match. If it's a squash match, I can understand. Finish your opponent. However you want. You don't even have to use the finisher. But if it's outside the confines of or outside the context of a squash match, you have to. If you're not going to use your finisher, you have to at least use a powerful looking move, or the move should at least look devastating. That maybe Andrew ever did not sell it right, but that double that that double backflip, a Pele kick, did not look that thing that what'd you call it? It did not look that devastating. Now, had he hit, I don't know, some like a something from the top rope, maybe that would have done it. Or, like, if let's say Desmond Xavier hits the double backflip, and then like, hits a head scissors takedown where Andrew Everett takes the spike bump, and immediately after that Desmond Xavier goes for the pin and then gets the 3 count. I can understand that because that's not his finisher, but that is a devastating looking move. Anyways, I digress. So yeah, he gets that for the 3 count. Okay, okay. Now, during the match, they made an announcement. Taryn Terrell, Taryn Terrell is removed from the Bound for Glory match, and there are rumors that have come out that Taryn Terrell is gone from Impact Wrestling. Now, if this is true, and apparently the rumors are that Taryn Terrell actually suffered a concussion. Maybe it's because Gail Kim smacked the absolute shit out of her. Maybe it's because of that, or I don't know. But remember, the first time Taryn Terrell left due to spiritual and religious purposes, and then she comes out and does that. Like, okay, that's what, like, on the back of my mind, I'm like, wait a minute, well, didn't you turn into like a nice, good Christian girl? What the hell happened to that? But yeah, the concussion is unfortunate, but Taryn Terrell deciding to leave at the eve of Bound for Glory. At the eve of Bound for, the least she could have done, is actually find a replacement and have and have her and have Taryn Terrell be the manager of that replacement in that 4-way match. I don't know. Maybe take like an Ava story, or like, somebody new coming in. Although, like, you'll have to sort of twist in how she gets a title opportunity. Like, but you can use the, like, the you can use the mitigating circumstances around Taryn Terrell to sort of factor that in. But holy shit, man. You know what? I know they mutually parted ways, but personally, if Taryn Terrell comes back again, I will be skeptical about her the next time. I'm sorry. This has nothing to do with GFW. This has nothing to do with GFW and the management and the booking. No, this is on Taryn Terrell. This is on Taryn Terrell. Okay. So next week, back to the review. Next week, Trevor Lee faces someone in Tijuana for the X title. Okay, we'll see. And I'm actually kind of liking this concept about like the Impact titles being defended in a lot of places. Okay, good. Come. Okay, so we come back from the break, and OV was shown in a goofy manner, looking for Conan. See, This is why I can't relate to OVE. You come off as Ohio versus everything. These psychotic type of people, and you start acting like fucking goofballs. You start acting like goofballs against people who want to fucking kick your ass. Okay, they get informed of Conan's stipulation. Oh fuck, man. Ovary bastards, man. Okay. So next, Stephen Bonner and Moose were shown backstage with some MMA title belts. I presume there were some Bellator title belts or something like that. Next. Okay, okay. Now here's one of my favorite parts of the show. Grado and Joseph Park segment was recapped. Grado comes out to the ring pissed off. Calls out Joseph Parks. He doesn't do the dancing around and whatnot. Parks comes out. Okay. Now, if I did not hear, because I went back and listened to it again. Grado calls Joseph Parks a sheep fucking thief. Or maybe it's how Grado pronounced it, that where he actually meant a cheap fucking thief. But when I first heard it, I'm like, wait a minute, a sheep fucking thief? Because listen, look, Grado's from the north. Grado is from the north of the UK, where a stereotype of the north of the UK is that these northern people, they live on fucking farms and they fuck sheep. Yeah, that's a stereotype. Okay, so if Grado used that, man, GFW does not get the credit it fucking deserves, at least right now. Like they're giving their staff they're giving their wrestlers a lot of freedom. Even more so, at least on the mic, than TNA Impact 2016. Okay. Now Grado accuses Joseph Parks of theft and taking advantage of Grado, and said Parks mistreated him. Cuts into Parks. I think fans chant guilty. I think because they didn't sound that unanimous. Park says yes, he did it, but he's sorry, but he could not resist the temptation. But Park basically threatens him with deportation, reminding him that like he owns his visa. Grado says, if you're any type of a man, you'll give me that visa back. Parks teases Grado and doesn't give it to him. And Parks says he has a plea bargain, he has a contract. So he proposes a match at BFG, at Bound for Glory. And says if Grado wins, he stays, and if he loses, he's out, basically. He's out of the country. So Grado says yes, he signs a match contract on Joseph Parks' back. So, Joseph Parks says, didn't you learn anything from me? Like before signing contracts? He said the fine print says it's gonna be two things. First, it's gonna be a Monsters Ball match. And the second thing, he takes off his glasses, starts getting intense. It's gonna be against my brother Abyss. And he walks off to the Abyss theme. Okay, now, now. Here's something. Here's something. Maybe they can add layers to this, saying that, like, basically indicating that Joseph Parks is actually in full control of his Joseph Parks persona and his Abyss persona at the same time. It's just, he can do whatever he feels like doing. Like, at least after Slammiversary, maybe that can happen, or during the Grado segment, maybe that can happen, or maybe, like, they can come out with something like, when Father James Mitchell is around, only then Joseph Parks turns into Abyss. Like only Father James Mitchell can trigger Joseph Parks turning into Abyss. And speaking of which, first of all, I love this segment. Like, it was good. Okay. So next we get the recap for the last year move segment. So we come back from the break. Then, okay, that Grado was shown with a fucking gym bag in one hand, baby step jogging towards the car, trying to run away from Abyss. So yeah, I found that funny. So he sits in his car and he switches stations. Yeah, so he switches one station, like, girly music, not doing it. Another station, girly music, not doing it. He switches another station, and then they start playing Abyss's music. Like, Grado freaks out, and all of a sudden from behind, guess who shows up? Father James Mitchell. He says that at Bound for Glory, he's gonna take Grado straight to hell. He and Abyss, and Grado runs out of the car. Oh man, this was a fuck. Look, this was a fucking great segment. Joseph Parks, or Chris Parks, Grado, I'm pretty sure Jeremy Borash is involved in this, and whoever else is involved, well done. Well fucking done. I'm looking forward to this match, because this is going to be one of those deletion type matches at Bound for Glory. You know it. You absolutely know it, and this is going to be another giant fuck you to Rebby Hardy. Next. So we go back to Tijuana. So OVE versus Black Diamond and Black Danger. Okay, the match, for a short match, it was actually quite good. Like, there was some nice spots. There was a double team pop up spear from the top rope. That was nice. There was the OVE hit their superplex to a sit-out powerbomb, and OVE hit a tombstone, a double team stomping tombstone pile driver for the finish. And they retain. So we have to come back from the next break. So JB was in the ring, and ATT come out to the ring, who shoved JB to the ground. And here we go, Dan Lambert. So Lambert said they were originally a favorite to Jarrett. Says Lashley wasted his time on Impact. And says for 40 years he was a pro wrestling fan. Fans chant, "We don't care." And here's an indication where, holy shit, GFW! I can't wait for GFW to get out of the Impact Zone, because to me right now, I'm sorry Impact Zone, but to me right now it's getting to the point where the Impact Zone is the fans are starting to take away from the show a little bit. Not too. They're nowhere as bad as the NXT crowd. They're nowhere as bad, but a little bit they're starting to take away. Says that it's ironic that he knows more about wrestling than anybody else in the arena, and says he takes out Bruno San Martino's first title belt in his collection, and he shows the Road Warriors Georgia Championship Wrestling tag title belts, the first one. shows Ric Flair's Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Wrestling belt from 1987. Brings out Jerry Lawler's title belt that after 10 years. And man, that was good. He says he also what's ironic is that he also has the biggest MMA training team, and pro wrestling disrespected MMA. Everything about MMA and ADT. Now, he also mentioned about he's actually a wrestling fan. He used to watch Japanese shoot style wrestling and stuff like Pancrase and whatnot. And says Lashley and King Mo will take back the respect that Impact stole from MMA last week. Says he's going to expose wrestling, and and says he has a challenge for Stephen Bonner and Moose for a fight. And he emphasized, he said, this is important, not a wrestling match but a fight against Lashley and King Mo. Now, I don't know what this means, so we will see what happens. We will see. And says that'll be the end of Impact Wrestling. What a fucking promo, man. Dan Lambert, man, that was really, really good. So Moose comes out with Bonner. Lashley attacks them both from behind, get beat down. The MMA guys take out Moose and Bonner. Lashley spears Bonner and Moose. While Lambert keeps berating wrestling and wrestling fans. Secure and referees come out. Mahabali Shera comes out and gets taken up. Bah! Caleb Conley also gets taken out. Everett taken out. I think he gets press slammed. Lashley's running power slam. Here's another spear. Man, this was an awesome segment, man. Man, I really liked it. Okay, so we go to a next break and come back. So we go back to Tijuana. The OVE goofballs meet Conan. OVE asks for a pay. Conan says there was no talk of pay. So OVE in the ring and gets surrounded. He says Conan calls in some wrestlers and OVE gets surrounded. OVE goofballs get beaten down by the Lucha wrestlers. Okay, and Conan says at Bound for Glory, you better shine them belts up because LAX gonna get in there and gonna take it back, you bunch of hoes. I'm like Conan just called them a bunch of hoes. I'm like, okay. Okay, up to this point, I was really enjoying the show. Next, we got a Global Forge segment, and we have to go to ImpactWrestling.com for the next for the full episode. There was some guy getting injured or whatnot, but all right, whatever. So next, we get a Ty Valkyrie and Rosemary's storyline recap. So we get to a main event. Rosemary versus Ty Valkyrie. So Rosemary, so plus 0.25 automatically. You know what? Call Rosemary the Demon Queen. Oh, no. Well, yeah, wait. Finn Balor's the Demon King. I don't know. Something like that. Okay, so the highlights were Rosemary's two Beals. Rosemary's T-bone suplex after the break. Rosemary's tarantula from the corner. Valkyrie's top buckle cross body block from the outside. Valkyrie's gut wrench suplex. Running knee in the corner. Rosemary's German suplex. There was a kick exchange. And then look, Rosemary. They're giving Rosemary something like this to do. This means this company really believes in Rosemary, and rightfully so. Absolutely rightfully so. Okay, because Rosemary was flat on her back, and then rises up. It's one of those those sit up type things, but in Rosemary's own idiosyncratic way, like where she bridges up from her knees. Holy shit, man. Okay, okay, moving on. But Taya Valkyrie hits a Northern Light suplex, bridges up and hits a stomp, and basically packages Rosemary for a 3 count. I'm like, okay, like at the instant, I'm like, what the hell? So Taya tries to continue the attack again, but Rosemary hits the red mist on her. Rosemary grabs the mic and says, at Bound for Glory, Hivelings demand blood. And says she will paint the impact zone with Taya's blood, although they're not going to be in the impact zone. But we get the idea. The Aberdeen Pavilion, okay. And she says Bloody Mary 3 times, so we'll see what happens. So this is a build-up to another match, to a pay-per-view match. So you know what? I like it. I'm like, now it makes sense. They left a lot on the table, which I'm pretty sure they're gonna show what they left on the table. I'm pretty sure they're gonna use it at Bound for Glory. They better use it. And Rosemary promised blood. There better be blood. There better be blood at Bound for Glory. So that ends the show. My overall show rating, including the Rosemary bonus, 8.75 out of 10. I really enjoyed this show. You had you had very good build towards Bound for Glory. You had like the build is now starting to take even more shape. Yes, you had some awkward moments. Eli Drake and boxers. What the fuck, man? Okay. Yeah. Fuck Johnny Impact for that. So. And like, I just want to know what they're gonna do with Desmond Xavier at Bound for Glory. I really hope he's gonna be at the pay-per-view. And the knockout situation. Like we got confirmation that Rosemary is going to be at Bound for Glory, although not in the main event picture. But she's gonna be there, so we'll see what happens with that. Like the Bound for Glory is shaping up to be pretty good. So we have OVE thing in a 51-50 street fight. OV LAX. You have Abyss and Grado in a Monsters Ball, and we know what happens. Like especially with the current track record. We have Rosemary promising to make Taya Valkyrie bleed. Oh. Okay. Listen. I just had something just hit me right now. Something just hit me right now. If Anthem can pull this off for the pay-per-view, if Rosemary can come out dressed somewhat like Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal, who wants to make people bleed, because if you play the 2012 Twisted Metal, you will see at the epilogue, Sophie Kane comes back with her, is brought back from the dead by Calypso with her own clown mask. If GFW can pull that off with Rosemary, and after getting permission from from Sony or whatnot, for the IP and whatnot, that's up to Anthem. If they can pull that off, oh my god, guys, that would be fucking awesome. Especially given the situation where Rosemary promised to make Taya Valkyrie bleed. So that'd be awesome. Anyways, that is it for this edition of the GFW Impact review. Please leave your comments in the comment section below, and make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and follow me on Twitter at TanTiger01. And if you want to get notified about my recent videos as soon as they're uploaded, hit that bell notification button. This is the MC Tam on the Review Side, the Bengal Dragon, signing out.